see.
I mean, it's alright. I don't need to see.
I don't need to see to talk.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
Watch out.
We're in your face.
Dude, I feel like he bullies me.
No.
Like, he's making me go through initiation.
He just, he wants to make sure you're not wearing a wire.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yeah, none of this can be recorded. He doesn't know what these do.
He doesn't even know what a wire is.
No, he's looking for string, really, to pull.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling mine.
Why you bite?
Why you bite?
Yeah, that's, he's being a little saucy today.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dinosaurs Rule, episode 5.
Yeah, this is episode 5.
Episode 5. So, this is a big milestone. We broke out the sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Because we saw how bright our future looked. Can we make that hacky joke?
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Yeah.
Our futures are so bright, we're protecting our eyes from it.
Yeah, every great podcaster has a sunglass episode. So
Do they?
Yeah, like Theo Vaughn does it.
Okay.
I think Joe Rogan has done
Tim
it.
Dillon wears
Tim
sunglasses
Dillon.
often.
Yeah. So,
What we're saying is we're basically like them.
Yeah, we're at their level.
Yeah. Sponsorship wise, by the way, I thought we got our first sponsor today.
Oh, who?
Slid into my DMs. It's like this smelling stick. It's not like the bath salts or like the smelling salts. It's like a it's like a, what did they say? Deodorant for your nose. So you're supposed to just smell it and it clears. It's essential oils and this and that, and it makes you more alert and feel better and everything. And then they told me, we want to give you free product, but you have to get an Amazon account, buy the product, send us the receipt for it, and we'll reimburse you.
Sounds like a scam.
I don't think that's how sponsorship should work.
No?
So I aggressively blocked them after maybe sending my top 3 roast jokes for their company page.
So, but it would be kind of fun to test the product. So,
I know, I want to test products.
So you spray it up there.
No. It's just something you smell. It's like a tube. It looked like chapstick. And you open it, and then you just smell it. And then all the testimonials they have, people are like, oh, wow.
So it's supposed to, what is it supposed to do?
I think it's supposed to, open up your, I don't know, because it's not like albuterol. It's not like an inhaler that opens up, lung ventricles or whatever. It really didn't have any scientific backing. I was still willing to try the product when I thought it was free. So, I don't know what all it does. But on the horizon, we might get sponsored by kind of like a mycology. I don't know if this is the right term. But I met this guy who's a big mushroom scientist. And we're talking the whole realm of mushrooms, lion's mane, extract, and they have tinctures and extracts and concentrates of different mushrooms that aren't necessarily psychoactive, but they're supposed to have amazing health benefits. And they were willing to hook us up. And I will be seeing that person at a comedy show. I put tickets in for them to come watch a show and hang out, and I'll bring them backstage and everything, and hopefully they can start putting some mushrooms and product in the green room maybe, and even in our brown room. I don't know what we call the studio.
Yeah.
But we'd love to try it, and we'll try that shit on air. Lion's mane might be perfect for a podcast. I think it's
Yeah. Well, we're doing it.
I think it wakes your brain up pretty well.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud. Back to the smelling thing, because you said it was like a deodorant, so I want to see if you do it and then someone farts, would you smell the fart?
Yeah, you would. I don't think it's anything that sticks around. I think it's like a in the moment cure. So maybe if you're smelling a fart and you're quick,
Okay.
you could like limit exposure, but I don't know.
So that's for people that really don't like farts.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it's well known now. Our legion of fans know that you drive people,
Yeah.
and since the beginning of summer, per se, or since like mid-May, I have taken about 3 or 4 Uber rides.
How are my coworkers doing?
Listen, man, every one of them's a bit different. I've had one of them that I've liked. I had one lady that I canceled a ride on because I was in a hurry. Like, who orders Uber when they're not in a hurry? I thought about that. I don't know. But I was in a hurry, and that's why I wasn't trying to drive to downtown and find parking. I was just trying to catch a quick ride over there. And it said, your ride will be there in 6 minutes. And then I watched this lady. You could watch them on the map, and I watched her make wrong turns, and I watched her just go in the wrong direction, and it just kept changing the time. So your ride is 14 minutes away. It's like the furthest it got away from 6 minutes. So I have 30 minutes to get 14 minutes down the road, and I'm already watching this like eat up my time, and I freaked out. And so I canceled it, but I wish I could have done more to let that lady know how upset I was about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what it could have been was she was dropping someone else off.
I did think about that the next Uber I got into, but even then, the amount of loop-de-loops she made around like one block made no sense for that.
Yeah, and it shouldn't tell you a time and then go up. Like, if she's
No.
doing a ride, it should tell you a time and always go down.
Okay, so yeah, there was some
Yeah.
foul play going on her part,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's a foul play.
I think so, man, because it wasn't a super expensive or far Uber ride, but we're in Denver, so like, you know, there's someone else. When I canceled the ride, Uber asked me if I just wanted to find another driver instead of totally cancel the ride. I go, sure. The next driver, 2 minutes away.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right down the street. Like, I could have hit him with a rock the whole time I was pacing in the road.
Yeah, she might have had to, pull over, flick her bean. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I just know that you're at the service of the rider.
Or the driver.
Yeah, the driver.
I see.
You're my driver. I'm using this app to have complete dominance over you and be driven around. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. I expect that you pull up and treat me like I'm the president.
Yeah, I always get the door for people.
Well, you don't need to really get
No,
out and
don't
get the
do
door.
that.
Here's the other thing. I'm always going to go for the back seat behind the driver. If there's 3 open spots, including the front passenger seat, I go for back seat behind the driver. How does that make you feel as a...
Doesn't make me feel good.
Okay.
It
Do you think
makes
that's...
like just as much as I have the power to kill you, you now have the power to kill me.
That's exactly why I sit there. I do, because I'm like, I don't know this person. I'm going to sit in the back, and I want to be able to, like, I don't know. If I have to choke you or whatever, like, I don't know. It's the safest place for me in that vehicle. I think only a weirdo sits up front, especially when it's just you and the driver.
Well, the other thing is, like, as a driver, if you're on the other side, on the passenger side, if you get T-boned, I'm trying to protect my side. So now you're on the side of protection.
You're trying to protect your side.
You see what I'm...
Not necessarily. How do you know which way the T-bone's coming?
You don't, but if, like, you have any kind of, like, say in the matter, I'm obviously going to pick that side over my side.
Sure. Well, that's what I like it. It puts you in the hot seat, because now we're both on the side of immediate death via T-bone, driver's side. But we're also in a position where, like, listen, you can't do much, and I can. I can attack you. I can exit out 2 different doors.
Not in my car.
Why is that?
It's pretty hard to, like, kind of figure out how to open it. And I don't know if the door opens when we're moving.
Does your car cost more per Uber ride because it's a nicer car?
I don't know. It can, so people can get like an Uber Comfort or like an Uber Green, and I think in that case it costs more. But then on top of that, Uber pays me an extra $1 per every trip that I complete,
Every trip.
just because it's an electric car.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. But I actually had some crazy Uber rides recently. I had one lady throw open my car.
Love that. Did
Yeah.
she throw up on herself primarily or everywhere else?
Well, so here's the thing. So I pull up, I pick up her and her boyfriend. She's on the pavement. Like, I could tell. I'm like, I remember thinking, like, she's going to throw open my car. But then I remembered, I'm like, wait, I get $150. I'm like,
No
I
way.
think I'm down for her to throw open my car.
And Uber pays that out?
Well, no, she pays that, but Uber takes it out of the account and gives it to me.
Wow. Instantaneously?
Yeah, so I was like, all right, come on, like, get in the car, come throw up, you know.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she starts yakking. But what was funny about it was she was laying on her boyfriend's lap, throwing up on his lap. So he got the short end of the stick. I don't know if he paid for it or she paid for it.
Why wouldn't he put her out the window?
Or why wouldn't you say pull over? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
So how'd you know it was coming?
yeah,
You heard it first?
I've become kind of intuitive.
You didn't say something like, "Hey, ma'am, can you sit up back there?"
Well, no, what I did say, hey, is everything okay back there? And the guy said, yep, we're good.
Was it a long trip they were taking?
Like a 40-minute trip.
A 40-minute trip. So they went 40 minutes out of their way to get drunk?
Yeah, it was Boulder to Berthoud.
Boulder to Berthoud. Oh, they're coming down from Berthoud.
They
I
got
don't
no
even
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Berthoud's a tough spot. Shout out my homie that lives in Berthoud.
Yeah.
Strain.
So it was perfect because the ride should have been a $40 ride. Ended up being a $250 ride because they tipped me $60 on top of that.
Oh,
They felt bad.
wow. Like he didn't know it was going to charge him $150?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why
And
it
tipped
tipped me
you
60.
60? Do you immediately go to clean your car?
Oh, yeah. Well, so they're like, yeah, send us a receipt. And I'm like, how am I supposed to send you a cleaning receipt? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Nothing's open. I'm going to clean it myself.
Yeah.
I'm not sending you guys a receipt.
You could send them an invoice. You
but-
just type up.
But, like, yeah. But, well, they get, I think they get a lot of, like, scam pukes.
I would imagine how. Yeah, I was going to say.
The lady on the phone, she was giving me some pushback. She was like, well, how much puke is it?
No way.
I was like, what? How do
She's
you
like,
measure
listen-
puke?
Listen, if it's just a little spit up, you're out of luck, dude.
Yeah, because it actually wasn't a lot. And I was like, I mean, puke is puke. Like, it's a biohazard. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
like-
hate to get gross, but what was the consistency of it?
Yeah, so, and, like, that's the question. Like, how do you measure puke? Is it in chunks? Is it in puddles?
Right? Is it in
what?
slime that's hard to pick up?
Yeah. And so it was 90% liquid. So that was
90%
good.
liquid. And did you smell strong odors of alcohol or food?
It was alcohol.
Because I think puke gets worse when it smells like food.
Yeah. So it was pretty much all alcohol.
Okay.
I think she was mixing. So they asked me how much. I'm like, I don't know, like a couple handfuls?
Oh,
And that's what it is handfuls. Because
I would have
you
said
kinda-
a gallon of puke, lady.
Well, no, because I had to submit pictures.
Oh,
So I couldn't lie.
throw a bit of Nesquik back there.
Yeah. Is that better?
That's really awful. I wonder how many times has that happened to you?
Okay, all right. What is your deal? I don't know what you want. You're like a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats are like women.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call them pussies.
Yeah.
What was your question?
How many times has someone thrown up in
Oh,
your
so
car?
there's another time, but this was like he got 99.9% of it out of the car. The problem was he got a little bit of it on the door. But the problem was in that scenario is he didn't know how to open the Tesla door.
Oh, so he was struggling.
Yeah, he's got his asshole.
Was he able to? He's trying to turn around. He got himself into a pickle. Oh,
Is that better?
he's never tried to walk up that. I'm
No.
surprised. So I'll tell you what, I've had tons of friends throw up in my vehicle
Oh, really?
over the years, like different vehicles. And most recently, I had, you know what? I'll just say who it was.
Damn.
It's one of the co-hosts of Bush League podcast, and it's not the white one. My buddy Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Big Mike was pretty sloshed. I don't know what he had eaten. I don't even remember the details. I just remember it being so cold outside you couldn't have the window down. So snowstorm, whatever, middle of winter, Colorado. And he oh yeah, dude, he let it rip, and he was trying to throw up outside of the car. And dude, it had stained like the outside of the car. Like it was crazy because it all froze.
Oh, wow.
And then it was it was an awful mess.
Mhm.
It was a bad one. It was one of the worst ones I've ever dealt with. And
He's a big guy, so I feel like he could puke a lot.
it's a big fella, dude.
Yeah.
And it was the smell, the liquor, it was so bad. It was gross.
Did he like pay to clean it or?
No, he just went about his life, which is fine. He was drunk. Actually, no, I think he tried to clean it out. But it never got there. Like it never got. I remember seeing, even to this day, you could look on the outside of the car, and if it's at the right angle, you could see like what it's done to the window. Because he did that thing where it went into the door, like down the window, and it was fucking gross. And throw up is nasty already.
Yeah.
But I remember it was one of those things where like you wanted the window down and then you're freezing. Cause like it was a wild event. I would say where's the worst place you've ever gotten sick publicly?
So this wasn't publicly, but the first time I was drunk, I also shit my pants in Niagara Falls in 7th grade. But the first time I got drunk was at my friend's house in my neighborhood, and I got shit face off a Keystone Light, which I didn't know.
Keystone, yeah.
Yeah. And,
It was like the garage drink, garage party.
Yeah. So I remember passing out on the couch, and all of a sudden I feel sick, and I just throw up all over beneath me, and I look down, and I threw up all over his dog.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like, he had a really cute,
long hair, short hair, what kind of dog?
It was a cute Bernese Mountain Dog.
Ooh,
And
the most hair.
Yeah, and he's just like, and like there's just throw up coming down his face. He's like, and then
Dude.
I'm like, oh, I gotta get out of here. So I like go upstairs and I fall asleep in the hallway. But what was really trippy is we lived in the same neighborhood, so his house was the same house as my house, same layout, but mirrored. So I woke up and I thought I was in an alternate reality. I was so confused because I thought I was home.
Yeah.
But like everything
You're trying
was
to run to the bathroom to throw up, and it's the laundry.
Yeah. So I was really confused. So I remember, like, I come downstairs and my buddy's just in the bathtub with his dog scrubbing him.
Oh shit. So you passed out and then came back to, and
Yeah, well, I passed out. I threw up, ran upstairs like I would get away with it, and woke up the next morning.
dude, I think the worst place I ever threw up was outside of. Actually, I've thrown up in quite a few places publicly. Sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes you're sick to the stomach. One time I threw up outside of a Golden Corral. And it was upon exiting the Golden Corral. And I'm saying 3 steps out the door. And
Were you hammered or?
no, I just ate too
Was the
much.
food? Oh, okay.
I had ate too much, or some of it was bad. I only got sick in the parking lot, and then I was fine when I got home. So I think
Yeah.
I just like gorged myself. and I took a couple steps out, and I thought it was a burp maybe, and I just was like, what? And I was like, oh, such a bad spot right outside the front door. That's like the worst. And I took a couple more steps, and I had to get a little bit more out before I got in my car.
Yeah.
And then I got in my car, and like, you know when you throw up but like your stomach doesn't hurt? Like you throw up and you instantly feel better?
Yeah, that's the best.
So I remember that drive home, I was just like,
Yeah,
you got like the winds hitting like your recently sweaty forehead from throwing up. It was nice.
I bet like
That's
people,
awful, and I'm sorry, Golden Corral, and please don't hold it against me, because I will be back.
Here's the thing, Golden Corral's used to it. I mean,
I was gonna say, dude, I'm pretty sure they probably got a gross ass kitchen.
Well, no, not just that, but like that's where all the bulimic girls go, you know. So they're all throwing up.
How does bulimia work? You eat it all and throw it up?
Yeah, so like it's a buffet, so they get to eat a lot, and then you know, so they probably have designated areas.
That's probably only unhealthy for the acid in your throat. But I bet if you get to, you could probably get good at it and eat and throw up with minimal acid in your throat. So where are all the bulimic chicks at? I've never met a single person that's like
I've met,
legitly had that.
I've dated like 3 or 4 girls that had eating disorders,
and they would eat and then run in.
I never saw them throw up. Most of the time,
Like
they
a
were,
cat.
they had like kind of, yeah, they had kind of overcome it, I guess, and
Okay.
like it was like they used to do it, but
Yeah, my eating habits are getting better, but you know, the most out of pocket I ever got was when I was just like, well, let's just eat and be fat and see how fat we can get and just act like we're in control of it. And so I did that, and I really pushed the limits. And when you see like how, what is that sin where you just gorge yourself? What is that called? Gluttony?
Gluttony, yeah.
So when you see like, wow, there's really no limit to gluttony, you could just kind of push it as far as you want, and if you have the money for it, you could just eat the worst food all the time. You could go from fast food to, you could just eat junk. You could eat steaks every day and get fat too, you know?
I wonder why, like, I wonder if bulimic people, like, why they choose to throw up. Why not just, like, take a bunch of laxatives and just shit it all out?
Oh, dude. I think it's easier to throw up than to take a shit.
Yeah, we take a shit every day. It's
Oh, yeah.
way easier to shit, no?
Shitting's fine, but I know for my body, I have to have, like, a pretty steady stream of probiotics to take a good shit. Otherwise, I'm taking, like, 4 mediocre shits throughout a day, which nobody wants to be on the toilet that long.
Yeah, I need to get on the probiotics.
The probiotic game is cool. I like the little yogurt cultures that you can drink. If I have like one of those every other day, I'm pretty solid.
Yeah, I drove a girl yesterday. This was kind of funny. She was like, she just graduated college, and black hair, all black clothes, kind of gothy, you know. And we started talking about religion somehow. And I asked her, like, do you believe in God? And she goes, no, I be shaking that ass. I'm like, oh, right. I didn't know that's...
You could shake your ass for the Lord.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. And I was like, okay, like, what about, like, your parents? Like, are they still, like, really religious? Or do they believe in God? She's like, nah, they kind of got away from it. And I was like, oh, so they be shaking their ass. And she didn't like that.
Have you ever driven a witch or dated a witch? They kind of boomed after season 3 of American Horror Story.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I did date one girl who I think was possessed.
Oh, currently? Or like actively?
I don't know if she's still possessed, but she was possessed at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you ever bring it up?
No, I never brought it up.
How do you bring that up?
Yeah, like
Right before the movie starts? Do you think you're possessed?
Yeah.
You've been acting crazy half the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, like, do you think someone who's possessed knows that they're possessed?
That they're possessed? No, I don't think so. I think that's part of the possession. They have no idea, and yeah,
Have you met someone that's possessed?
no.
No.
I mean, I've seen. I think there's like. If you consider possessed like the people that are walking down Colfax at 3 a.m., like really strung out, and I mean, casting spells with their fucking arms, or they're shadow boxing, or they're like, I was at an open mic at Lion's Lair on Monday night, and I'm waiting to go up, and I go up and have to rock, paper, scissors for a spot either right then or to be the last comic of the night that performs. So I lose.
No.
Yeah, so he's like, well, you're last up. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to step out front. And Colfax is already such a grungy fucking street. And this part of Colfax, it's East Colfax. And some would say it's like a pretty poppin' part of it because it's like Pete's Diners right there. So you have a 24-hour thing. I think the 7-Eleven across the street from that's 24 hours. And then there's like a Taco Bell real close that's 24 hours. And so like what makes it like alive at night is that there's traffic at all times. And yeah, there's just like, I always consider the homeless people, or I'm not going to say homeless. I always consider the people that are like strung out but standing in the middle of the street. I think they're possessed. Because I've run into a lot of these on Colfax where they stand in the street and they either make the car stop and go around them, or they do this thing where it's not like they intimidate the car. They intimidate, but they don't aggressively attack the vehicle, but they stand in the street for the confrontation with the vehicle. And or they like, and this particular guy was like walking lane to lane. So if nobody was coming on this lane, he was conscious enough to walk to the other lane when cars are coming. And he would just like, mumble shit, and you would kind of hear him, but he was far enough away that you couldn't make out what he was saying. And I watched him play this like chicken with traffic for a while, and every time he looks over, I would like look away. And I'm out there with the Colfax Cookie Monster himself, who's a notorious door guy around those parts. And so me and Mark are like chilling out front, and Mark's like, "Don't look at him, it's fuel to the fire." And I'm like, all right, I won't look. And so like every time this guy, he starts mumbling, and he'll be like, maybe you over there. And you'd hear like that.
You want to look so bad.
Yeah, and I would just try my best not to look at this guy. And he got so aggressive with cars going back and forth and people walking around and standing it out in front of that place. It's just like, that's possession, dude. Because they don't. It's like that scene or speech in Joker where he's like, or in Batman where Joker's like, it's a dog chasing a car. Yeah. It's like, that's what they're fucking doing. They don't know what the confrontation's gonna be.
I'm not a planner. Gordon's a planner.
Yes. These people are just wanting, who knows? Because like, it's rare you get to see that situation play out where it's not just like a ton of paramedics trying to fucking calm the guy down, you know? It never plays out well, but I always wonder. That's what I think.
Or he could be like a multi-millionaire just doing a social experiment.
He could be, and I didn't get the, Do you ever wish you're on one of those shows? I always wish that I'm on one of those, and then I realize it, and then I could really play up my character.
Ooh, yeah.
I've always wanted that.
Yeah.
Because I do think those social experiment shows I would probably fall for, but in a good way. So like, if they do like the one where you see like a strange guy trying to take a kid from a park,
Mm-hmm.
or like, you know, if you're standing within earshot distance and you hear this guy like, I would call that person out. I got no problem doing that.
Like, hey, bro, I got a van. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I would up to physically attack the person if I thought like a kid was in danger. And I don't know why. I'm no hero, but I
But
know
you're
in
a
that
good person.
situation I would do something. In the situation somebody drops their wallet or money or whatever that, 1,000%. I'm like, hey, I do that all the time already. I don't play with shit like that because I think
Yeah.
karma will get you financially immediately
Mm-hmm.
if you fuck around with other people's money.
Or if you have a kid, that kid's gonna get abducted if you don't.
No, I don't even think it's karma with the kid thing. I just feel like I got a niece and a nephew, and they live in another state, and it bugs me that I already can't be
A protector.
Yeah, like I love those kids, and I would fucking. I know how fucked up this world is. It's just like, I would want to think that, you know, that good people exist out there and would stand up and say something, or help, or do something. If I saw somebody choking, I would try to help. If I saw like an emergency happen, I would try to help. But I'm curious about the social experiments I would fail.
So tell me if you would pass or fail this one. I heard of one. There's this guy, he owned a bunch of car dealerships in Texas or something, and he would like go into them dressed as a homeless guy to try to buy a car, and depending on how the staff treated him, he would like fire them or not.
Oh, okay, like an undercover boss.
Essentially,
Undercover boss. I think I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
I do.
You're like, come on, bro, let's get out of here. Come on, we're not buying a car.
Nah, bro. I think like
Yeah.
I'd probably try to like, you want to smoke a bowl? You know, I don't see a boss. Luckily, I have a job where, I don't know. I shouldn't get into it.
Yeah.
But being a comedian is nice. We'll put it that way. And you're in an environment that's a bar, so people are drinking. It's nice to have a little bit of leverage when like everyone around you is shit faced. You're automatically the adult because you're not drinking. You know what I mean? And you're in charge of like, you're the one that's like, okay, well, I'm sober enough to tell you that you're being out of line.
Do you like when you guys have a big headliner come through? Do people go through metal detectors?
No.
I feel like you guys need metal detectors.
No, we wouldn't have half an audience, in my opinion.
You think they're all packing?
Depending on the show, who's the headliner?
Well, I don't want to go too.
That's a
racy.
fun game. Let's go. Who's the headliner?
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan would never play our club, but yeah.
Why would he never play the club?
I think it's just too. I don't think he does little clubs like that.
Oh,
I'm sure
he's
he's
an
a
arena?
big theater guy.
Okay.
I don't know about arena. I don't know what Tracy's been up to.
Yeah, I mean he's.
I would
still
love. I
recovering.
would love to meet the guy.
Yeah, I love Tracy Morgan.
I think that I actually have heard people have seen him live, and he's unbelievably funny.
Yeah, I believe it.
So,
yeah.
but I'm saying, let me put it this way: a DC Young Fly crowd, 86, or like Wild and Out. When those headliners come through, they bring a very young crowd, and yeah, oh yeah, dude. I know that half of that crowd. I'm not gonna say margins like half, but there's people in there all the time that you can tell everywhere else they got a gun. Why wouldn't they fucking have a gun there? And I don't think it's a safety thing. Like, these are people that they're there for the show, so like unless there's an incident or something that warrants pulling a gun out, you know, they're not gonna misbehave. But if we started like checking everybody, especially with a wand, I think we'd be sending people out left and right.
Well, I just like if I'm a famous comic and I'm performing there, I don't think I would feel safe.
Well, they don't. I don't think they think about it. But they'd have to know that their crowds are pretty fucking edgy, and they'd have to trust the security of the club. Which I mean, I trust the security of our club, even with guns in the room.
What
We
about
have dedicated security that's like sole focus is crowd control.
so did
And we're also, although we're not like checking people or patting people down, we are refusing admittance if we feel anything that's
gang related or
no, if we just you can't do that either. Everybody's in a gang, dude. It's fucking 2024. Your grandma's in a gang. It's on next door.
my grandma's dead because of the gang.
Oh shit. Well, your gang should have gotten back at that gang. Like, I understand how the world works, and
We don't have a chapter in Boca Raton.
really, Boca Raton is I know some people down there, Puerto
Yeah.
Ricans. Yeah, I'll put you in touch.
Right.
No, I think that you have to understand your clientele is the same clientele you get at a live event. So I'm sure concerts, you know, I like they don't Nuggets games and baseball games and all that stuff, they're skiing like you're walking through stuff. It's a big stadium, I get that.
I don't see how that's any different.
Well, I mean, if we had one of those, I don't know. I just feel like it's not even half of the crowd that might be packing, but I do feel on certain nights there's probably a gun or two in there.
I mean, maybe just a sign.
I always feel comfortable in the notion, and this might make me crazy, but I always feel comfortable in the notion that not all bad guys have guns. I think that's a bad way to look at it. I think that a lot of people conceal and carry that are good people, and I would love to have them in the fucking room with a good head on their shoulders in case somebody with a gun who's a jackass is in there. I'm not afraid of the guns, and I can read a person's behavior before I think they'll pull a gun out. So that's why I'm not super worried about it. Is like I don't think it's a safety concern at all.
Do you think we should arm our teachers?
No, because most teachers are fucking
Crazy.
shit. I don't think that's the answer. I think good people with guns can stop bad people with guns, and good people with guns can also have like the sensibility never to use it, except for training to. You know what I mean? Like
I think in every classroom it should almost be like a flight marshal. There should be like a kid.
that's too expensive.
A guy that looks young, you know.
Like a Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
yeah.
But no, they blend in. They're like,
Well,
yeah.
I think schools should have like a cop. Whatever happened to the
100%.
like every school I went to had a cop at it all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
But like the Uvalde shooting, I think it was the Uvalde shooting, the school shooting. I think the cop fled. I think he
Well,
got
that's
scared.
a pussy cop.
But how are you supposed to know if a cop's a pussy or not?
Start vetting cops better. I think cops are a problem too. But if you put a good cop, like a good cop is worth a lot. A good cop is fucking.
You sound like a wife. He's a good cop.
He's a good cop.
Like
Well,
an
I
Irish
think
woman.
law enforcement is necessary.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the people that are like, get rid of the police are stupid. I think that it should be. I don't know. See, I'm so dumb. I know I don't have the answers to these. These are kind of heavy issues.
They are.
But
we can make light of it.
the way I honestly feel is you try to like rip out the corruption. Like I think there needs to be some serious reform. And it's not just like cutting budgets here and there. It's like rip it out, root from stem, something the world's never seen. Where
I
like
got it.
people get like it would suck because it would have to be from the government to the lobbyists to the big pharma down. You know, get rid of all the fucking blatantly evil people and corrupt everything. And if you could prove something's corrupt, we gotta eradicate it, pull it root and stem, and then hopefully what you're left with is good people. I still think it's probably 50-50 in the world. Good people to bad people.
No. It's way higher. It's
More good people than bad people?
I think it's like 90 to 99% good people.
Oh, then that's the thing. If you could just, that's even better for this experiment. If you can eradicate 1%, which equals 100% of the evil, or, you know what I mean? If you go through it and you really shook the law enforcement agencies and the CIA, and you go through all the organizations and you're able to wipe out all that shit and have a pretty transparent thing going on, I think then cops are good. Cops are good to have.
I think the solution is, this is the solution to school shootings. We'll never have a single death ever again. Every kid and teacher, all the faculty, they all wear juggernaut suits.
Everyone's a juggernaut.
Everyone wears juggernaut suits.
Oh,
But you can like make them cool and like design them to be cool. You can still express yourself through your juggernaut suit.
in the words of the famous Denver street comedian Mike Cavallino, whose artwork's all over,
Cool.
he goes, to solve school shootings, you just need to let kids smoke cigarettes. He's like, yeah, let them hang out and smoke cigarettes. I don't want to butcher this joke, but let them hang out and smoke cigarettes, because you're cool when you smoke cigarettes. Or like you can relieve some stress when you're smoking cigarettes, whatever.
Well, there's actually a recent link with cigarettes or tobacco or nicotine.
And anger?
No, and curing ADD and ADHD.
Cigarettes curing ADD, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Or nicotine. Nicotine.
Don't you think ADD is a compounding problem just because of our media consumption?
No, because you have no problem focusing when you play video games or doing something you really enjoy. I'm assuming you have ADD or ADHD.
I don't know. I think I do.
I do.
I've never been diagnosed with nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
but asthma.
I have no problem focusing on something when it's something that I'm really interested in.
All the other mundane.
It's something that I really don't have any interest in. I have trouble focusing, which I feel like that's everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's a. I don't know. I think it's all a spectrum, and there's some people that are like. It's so crazy that there's like 50 different sounds and shit for them to focus on, and all these thoughts going through their brain. My brother had it really bad, but they also kind of put him on
the ADD
Ritalin or whatever the medicine was, and he used to be like, I either feel like a zombie and I don't hear nothing, or I fucking feel like
it's wearing off.
there's 15 different things going on at once, and I can't
Dude,
focus on nothing.
I really believe those kinds of drugs really fuck us up at a young age, and
I think so.
like I'm sure like he had his traumas and he had his reasons for going down the road he went, but like I mean
They ushered him along that road from a young age.
yeah it's not all his fault, you know.
Absolutely not. And I don't talk about my brother a lot, but the psychiatrists and the doctors in the fucking 90s made a killing off of selling drugs to kids,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And I watched this is my personal life opinion, because I used to have to go with my brother to like the therapist. You know, my mom would take us, and he was 5 years
Got a
older than
group
me.
deal.
So if I'm 4 years old, he's 9 years old in therapy. So I'm 5, he's 10. I'm listening to the doctor. Like I'm old enough to hear what the doctor's saying. I'm sitting in on like his therapy sessions, like a fly on the wall.
That's kind of cool.
And I remember him telling them, well, this is why I get mad. This is where I feel stressed. This is da 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 da. Being very honest and very open.
That's great.
And then I remember like the psychiatrist just feeding back hogwash.
Textbook bullshit.
Yes,
Yeah.
and not even textbook bullshit. Who knows if it was textbook or not? He just sold a product. I remember seeing that at like 5, 6,
Wow,
7 years
interesting.
old.
Yeah.
Over years of going to a psychiatrist, and I watched him spin shit and like hand my parents books that continued to sell his
Did
points.
his job.
Yes, like, or it would sell his point. It would be like dealing with a disruptive child, written by some jackwagon fucking psychiatrist or child doctor from 81, and you know, so it was, they were dealing with drugs that they didn't know how to best use, putting them onto kids that were way too young to be taking drugs. And then I think that was a large part of what started young drug addicts down a fucking spiral, because it's not that you got him hooked on Adderall. It's that you got him hooked on the feeling and the high of Adderall, which can be replaced with fucking 15 other things in life.
Yeah,
And
it's
as
a
you-
dopamine trigger.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Once you experience a certain high, you can always chase that high.
Well, dude,
Or you
that's-
could always know, like, in your brain, okay, this is what happened when I always took too much of my medicine.
Well, you know, having done nicotine, it's enabled me to really empathize with people that are addicted to heroin. Like,
because you always want your nicotine.
yeah, it's like if I go a day without it, I'm a little
It starts
crazy.
to affect you a little bit.
Yeah, and
So-
like it's obviously different levels, but like
Sure, but it's the exact same
principle.
Yeah, it's the exact same like withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
Not, and don't fucking dopies, don't come after me.
Yeah.
I know my fair share,
Yeah.
but what I mean is like your whole life gets disrupted
Mm.
immediately when it's not there.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna go to rehab for vaping.
No, but you'll go like this and look through your bed, and you'll
Yeah.
instead of just going to sleep, you'll wake up and find your vape, or you know, like
Yeah.
it'll disrupt your life and your habits,
Mhm.
which is exactly what those serious drugs will do.
And teaching a kid that at a young age, it's like,
It's setting them up for failure.
yeah, that's
What
really
kid do you
hard.
know that got put on Adderall at fucking 7 who's not on drugs now?
I don't
Whether
know
it be
of one.
prescribed or illicit.
I don't. Everyone that I know on Adderall at a young age has some kind of vice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your best bet, because everybody gets vices in life, I think your best bet is if your parents are able to raise you without the influence of drugs
Mhm.
and keep you not sheltered, keep you informed. So, like, it's better to know what's going on and identify it than to be sheltered and then blindsided by it later in life by somebody you might, God forbid, trust. You know, it's like that's where the corruption comes into play. I think they should be like, hey, we're not going to put you on a ton of sugar. We're not going to have you grow up on the fucking
Moderation.
iPad. We're not going to have you grow up on Adderall or Ritalin, or we're not going to throw antidepressants at you when you're like 11. Who the fuck is not depressed at some point between 11 and like 18?
Oh, yeah, dude.
As you're finding your
that
like,
age is so hard too.
yeah, and to be prescribing a kid drugs during that age. Listen, you know what drugs what I think is probably the best thing for them to run into at that age is like CBD.
Turn it
And
off.
well, see, like that's a drug, but I'm saying
That's
like
a drug. Yeah.
your parents shouldn't be like when you're 15, like, hey, you want to start jacking off? Because I think that's just as dangerous to a fucking kid.
Yeah. I think porn is not good.
No,
Yeah.
I think porn fucks up
Yeah.
your whole existence, as bad as Facebook and MySpace and Reddit and porn is another form of like vicious, extremist sensory overload
Mm-hmm.
where like you shouldn't be watching all that shit.
I-
And it's not I don't know. I just think it's like one of the worst drugs too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it'll throw you off your game all day.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to have like a natural upbringing
Yeah.
where you
Ride your
find
bike.
these drugs on your own, but you're educated.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and I think it's about being like honest with yourself and transparent and saying like, okay, like being real with yourself. Like, am I doing this too much? Like, is this negatively affecting my life?
Yeah, but that shit's so easy. That's the easiest part. Is I identify I have a problem. That's easy.
Well, a
That's
lot of
just-
people are in denial though.
Oh, those. What are you gonna do for somebody in denial? You can't do shit for them. And if you're in denial, why the you're a fucking bum. And I say that with love, because
Yeah.
if you're in denial about anything, don't be, because that's not even the hardest part. The whole next step that you go into is like, well, I'm not in denial. It's a problem, but I'm still not doing anything about it.
Mm.
You could live in that forever.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, why even be a step
Might as well be in
behind that?
denial.
You might as well be
Yeah.
not in denial. You might as well be like, hey, these are my problems. This is what I do too much of. I'm bad with money. I jerk off too much. I fucking, it's nothing to be like, I need to exercise more. I need to cut out sugar. I need to work more. I need to
Why are you like attacking me?
sorry. Well, it's just,
I'm just kidding.
I think that's the easy part is like admitting the reality of things.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
fucking hard part is doing anything to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And the pattern building of like, I'm going to unlearn this habit and fill it with this habit, and I need to have this many healthy things in a day so that my bandwidth doesn't get drained. That's all the gray area. That shit is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost
So-
impossible.
So to play devil's advocate, do you think there are kids that do need prescription medicine?
Oh, I think it would be like the only the most extreme severe cases.
And it's like temporary to kind of get them into a more
I-
stable place.
Sure. Oh, I
Yeah.
think all drugs should be considered like a when you take antibiotics, you're supposed to take it for the full
Amount of time,
yeah.
and then stop. Yeah.
But I think it should be like that. I think the only people that should be on drugs daily are the people that are dying, or the people that have a serious ailment that is stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's drugs out there that are serving a purpose that doesn't get you high. There's drugs out there that are meant to just open your lungs up a little more, or to like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I think all that stuff is great.
So, do you consider cannabis to be a vice?
Oh, I definitely do.
Oh, really?
And I think cannabis is a vice that because nobody's
It's a
using it
sneaky vice.
medicinally. Like nobody.
Some people do. Oh, yeah.
Some people do. A very small percentage.
Mhm.
I use it as a vice. I found it at say age 16 or whatever, and then started to abuse it.
Mhm.
And now, very rarely, like nowadays, I have a CBD like muscle rub.
Mhm.
So I know that that's the only time I'm using it really medicinally. Even if I just smoke a joint so I can start my day or to enhance anything, I'm getting no medical effects on purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
and
just
you
going
might-
to get stoned.
But you might attest to this, but for me, like, I agree with you. I do think it can be a vice, but I think people need to be aware that it, like, you can be disciplined with it and get something out of it too. Like the days that I don't wake and bake and I save it for nighttime and I smoke it when I get home at night, those are the best days because it really, like, it's at nighttime. I don't have anything to worry about. There's no paranoia, and it just makes me really creative. And
Oh, I love that. I try to chase that all the time.
yeah, and And it's not guaranteed. I would say like 80 to 90% of the time it makes me really more creative. There are some times where I'm just like really paranoid and I have something on my mind and I'm like recycling that thing in my mind. Like, how do I like figure this out? And like every now and then it's like that. But most of the time I'm thinking about new ideas and new things and life, and it's really beautiful. But I've had times in my life where I've abused it because I was depressed and I just needed to not feel or numb myself or like just kind of escape, you know, but recognizing that, and then like you said, making that change and figuring out the right dosage and how much is, I think there's this point where like on the graph where it goes up and then it goes down, and you got to figure out that point where it's right here where you get the most out of it without it hurting you.
That's hard to do, especially with weed, because you it either has to be like a controllable dose. You know, I buy a different strain every month.
I don't think it's that deep though, because like at the same time, like I have these guidelines for myself. Like I smoke at night, but like if someone offers me to smoke in the middle of the day, I like it's like a special occasion. It's like a holiday. Sure. It's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. You know, like there are times where I'll indulge because that's life, dude. It's like you're living life. You're going with the flow.
Well, just smoking once a day and saving it for that one time a day is probably the greatest plan for the majority.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you are gonna get that inspiration burst. You're gonna get that like deep thought.
Mm-hmm.
Or I love when I don't smoke all day. And then say I'm like gonna watch a movie or play video games or sit down and write jokes or go to an open mic or whatever, and you save it for then. It's always better.
I just thought of a joke for you. Yeah. Unless you were about to say something.
Go ahead.
So you can be on stage, and this is like a self-deprecating like roast. Like I don't know if you'd use it at a roast bottle or just like regular, but say something like it would be at the opening of your set. You'd be like, I'm glad I could be here and step aside from running InfoWars.
Because I look like Alex Jones.
Yeah, something like that.
Who's losing everything?
Now he's in some trouble. He'll be fine.
You know what I was thinking the other day though? First of all, I'm a sweaty bitch. Second of all, it's kind of been getting hot down here. Summertime.
I'm chilling. Here's the thing though.
I fat in my face, pulling my head down.
The first 10 years of my life, we didn't have air conditioning, and we would sleep with cold rags on our foreheads.
Oh, nice.
So I actually enjoy like a little bit of heat. I think it's like a childhood thing. It's kind of nostalgic.
But you know what I realized the other day was, if I'm just taking a couple days off at home, I could go days without smoking. I seem to be smoking when I like have to go do something. And I do smoke recreationally, like, for instance, this morning, because I have this little hash pin, this morning I woke up and I wanted to watch that Roast Battle League podcast because they're going to talk about me, so I was like, So I made a cup of coffee, I was ripping this thing, I was having a good time. And then it just kind of like, I'm going to hit it throughout the night, and I am going to a show tonight at Dude IDK Studios, one of the coolest fucking spots in Denver. And it's a show I've always wanted to see live with some funny Denver comics on it. I have the night off. I'm going to probably, after this, eat 100 milligram, or I'm going to get tore up and go and have a good time.
And those are the special occasions what I was talking about. You know what I mean? It's like you enjoy yourself. But here's the thing, like let's say I was a multimillionaire, right? And I could just fuck off all day every day.
Sure.
I probably would smoke weed all day every day.
I wonder about that too. Well, what is your smoking habits like now compared to, let's break it into this for me. When did you start smoking? What age?
Late. So
after high school?
Well, I tried it in high school. I didn't really get high. I don't think I was inhaling.
Okay.
So then I dated this girl that got me into it. So I was like 22 or 21. From
College?
20, yeah, so from like 21, 22, I've been basically smoking every day for the last 12 years.
Okay, so my smoking habits in high school and college were all day, every day, as much as I can get, whoever's weed, we're smoking. I'm in this circle smoking, I'm in this circle, I'm friends with the jocks over here smoking weed. And then college was like, oh yeah, dude, we were smoking and learning. It was an intense college because it was like renewable energy, so wind turbines, and this person's going for solar panels, and it's like we were taking some serious classes, but we were also very stoned every day. And it just, after that, it was kind of like, I remember moving out and being in my own place and realizing like, wow, I can smoke, and then these people come over, and then we smoke some more, and then these people come over, and then we smoke some more, and it did get crazy and out of hand, just like all we're doing is smoking. That's what my first, from age like 16 to like 26, that's what about my first 10 years of smoking was like, how much can we smoke? And how high can you get? And then you realize you get to a place where you plateau, and you're just kind of like, no, you can smoke, 8 blunts in, you're not getting high on blunt 9 through 12, but you can smoke. That's how it felt for a long time. And then, because you add hash in there and dabs and edibles, and it got to the point where naturally I started smoking less. I remember quitting smoking so I could work, because I was taking a lot of drug tests for work at different places, and maybe that was a nice break. And when I came back from that couple of years of like being super sober, when I came back from that and started smoking again, it just was like 50% of the time I'm getting is like, let's get fucking ripped. And then the other 50% of the time, I'm totally comfortable being just regular. I could go days. I could, It's a while before I realized, like, oh shit, man, weed just lasts forever now. When it used to never. And now I have a couple different options. Like, I got some edibles. I could eat some edibles. They last forever. I have some flour. I kind of always keep some flour on hand. Maybe a hash pin every now and again. I don't dab anymore, but when I was dabbing, it was like, that almost took over for a while. Just not smoking no more flour, not smoking anything but
I had a
dabs.
phase like that.
And it's like, you get like another level of high with those things.
We took dabs at my Fort Collins place that first time we tried to record a podcast, right?
Probably.
Yeah, do you remember the e-nail? Yeah,
No.
I think we took dabs.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. You know what I remember from that place?
Spiders?
No, it was a awful stench, because you pulled out like a bag of broccoli that had gone bad.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like in somebody's like order a meal kit.
No, I think it was my roommate that did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he opened a box or something.
Oh yeah.
And that smell of broccoli was
lingered.
I never smelled anything like that. I was like, this is awful.
You needed that product.
It was gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote a quick little joke.
Let's hear it.
I don't know how to deliver it yet. Okay,
Yeah.
so bear with me. So it goes like this. It's like, so I have a cousin with Down syndrome, but he doesn't like Mexicans very much, because every time they say good afternoon to him, they say Buenos tardes. Is that a good way to deliver it? Kind of.
I would shorten it to my cousin with Down syndrome's least favorite time of day is the afternoon.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's kind of your setup.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, what? Why would that even? Why?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because you'd have to place him in Mexico, I guess.
Yeah, because when
I don't know. That's funny though.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Chop it down. I wrote
Yeah.
3 different ideas today. You want to hear a silly one I wrote probably
Yeah.
an hour ago?
Yeah.
I have this little speaker at my house, And sometimes it's not loud enough, and whenever it's not loud enough, I just put it in front of the fan so I can hear it from the other room.
Yeah.
And I think that's hilarious because clearly that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's kind of funny to think, I might think that the fan's going to push the sound.
Yeah. That takes me back to like when you do the Darth Vader thing in the fan. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to, I just wrote that idea down to be like, all right, let's figure out what's really funny about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also wrote down one of my guilty pleasures lately has been like, I don't know what's up with my algorithm, dude, but it keeps sending like really bad rappers, and I don't know if it's tormenting me from when I used to write rap music, and because like I could have been any one of them, you know what I mean? And they're pretty bad. It keeps sending me like, it's sending me like purposely cringe, like rappers that are recording in their car or whatever the case. And then I kind of get a chuckle out of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to follow this person for even more laughs later. And then I go to their page and they have like 20,000 followers. And then all the comments are positive, and then I just feel like a piece of shit. And yeah, your guilty pleasures aren't supposed to make you feel bad. So that's like, I can't go, that's fucked up. And then I try to write out another part where like, your guilty pleasure, I might go to the buffet to feel better because that's what fat people do. But how awful would it be if they announced like what serving I'm on over a loudspeaker? Every time I got up to go to the buffet, it defeats the purpose, you know.
It's like the replay guys in the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wrote one more thing. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. It's on this piece of paper right there. But what time are we at? Can you see that?
No, I can't. I think we could wrap it up soon.
I think we could, dude.
We got a couple pops, I think, right?
I don't know. You know what I'm realizing is this podcast might not be joke oriented at all.
Yeah, we kind of just talk about life and like
we get caught up.
Sprinkling.
I think we turn like our weekly segment into the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was your week? And then it just goes from there.
But it's good that we flow, though. There's not, like, a lot of empty space and, like, you know.
I think it's because I just fucking ramble on. Number one. I would like
you do ramble, but I'm happy to have you ramble. And I'll interject when I feel like I need to, but, like, it's good that you ramble. Like, I like
good.
your train of thoughts.
It gets me, hopefully it gets... I also think we're on, what, episode 5?
5, yeah.
Dude, I think that it's going to get progressively easier to whittle down my thoughts. Or, like, learn how to speak in podcasts. Because right now, I answer questions, but then I feel the liberty to, like, just go on. Because I'm like, oh, well, I could really expand on this thought. Not all thoughts need to be expanded on that much. But I think I'm learning.
Yeah, I think like there's like a natural filter. I do the same thing. Like I'm like, there's been a couple times where I'm like, oh, that's just fluff.
Yeah, sometimes I get to the end of something I say and I'm like, no payout.
yeah.
And I'm like, and
I'm
I'm
learning.
I've tried to listen to some of our episodes and I don't like some of them.
Yeah, I don't like them either. But but I like you and I like me.
Same, and I'm cool with those episodes being out there because I'm like. We're going to be able to watch this grow into like a very comfortable.
Yeah.
It's already comfortable. We're too comfortable. We're so comfortable. We don't have a script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That alone is the spontaneity. What's that? Whatever the word I'm looking for.
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
I can't even say it.
That alone is like it's what is good about this podcast. So like we're not on an agenda. We don't have a script. We don't have
lobbyists.
Fuck no. Nobody's paying us. Nobody's really listening or subscribing.
But
By
we're
the way,
open to that.
Like and subscribe our shit.
Yeah.
It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. But all the podcasts I like are on hundreds of episodes. And I've gone back and listened to them, and they all start getting good at like episode 50.
Okay.
So I know that once we figure out what's interesting to talk about, which I think from my angle, I am going to start talking more about the process of like, oh, dude, I went to these many mics this week. Like, I'm going to talk about the comedy shit I'm doing. Because if anybody is trying to listen to this to check in on what Mazooka's been up to, that's what I've been up to. I'm going to start talking about what I've been up to. Like, I have an interesting life going on, and I want to be loose and upfront with it, because it's already, right now, if you look at like my social media, you're like, oh, this is cool. He's kind of got credits and accolades coming through. But you, luckily enough, have seen it from the jump the last like 3 years, where like the little steps I've taken, and
oh yeah,
and I should kind of like represent those along the way, because we're in this sort of studio now, but dude, I have no doubt that we'll probably get like a real nice. We'll probably start doing it someplace really nice. I think this is going to be as comfortable as we want it to be forever, and we could redo this a billion times. That's what's beautiful, is like this is truly our studio.
It's like Minecraft.
I thought that other comics were going to come use this space, and that's never happened. So like the door's open for some comics if they want to come record a show here.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I think this is truly our space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're on the way to finding out with this podcast where it's really gonna hit. And I do want to do some fun stuff. So like I love
like a trans episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Just
love
go drag for an episode.
Oh yeah, dude. Speaking of drag, this is the shit I should talk about, because I worked a drag show last night. I worked 13 hours. It was 13 and a half hours was my schedule, and it's probably the third drag show I've ever worked, and the third drag show I've ever seen, and it was such a event. And what was so cool about last night was I got to run 2 green rooms, and I got to make a makeshift green room last minute out of like this big hallway in the mall. And so like it was set up, I put mirrors out there. It was cool to me as a showrunner, and it's not my show that I was running. These people came in to do the drag show, but it's our venue, our sound. So like I ran everything for these people. Like I worked just as hard as they did for the whole production, and they recognized that. But it was so crazy, because as a showrunner I learned, wow, I can whip up a green room out of a fucking hallway, and I managed like 12 different people. There was like 8 people on this side of the green room or on this green room, and then like the headliner, they had our nice green room, and I was just really proud to pull that off, because that was me pushing the envelope further than I've ever pushed it. Usually I'm taking care of one green room at a time. Last night I had 2 green rooms. I was serving a bunch of people in both sides. I was running the sound booth with the DJ from Hamburger Mary's, which is a place out here. Shout out Hamburger Mary's. Shout out Sir Isaac Red, I believe is the name of the DJ. They were great, and it was like, dude, I got the credentials for the show, and it was like, this is what we need, and we need to build a second green room, and we need to download all these songs and make this playlist, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I got all that and like pulled it all off, and we executed that show flawlessly. And the drag shows are crazy, regardless of how you feel about a drag show, the energy is insane. The production value of it is crazy. There's costume changes. There's like, it feels like a fucking green room back there. And that hallway felt like this crazy space. And it's cool, bro. It pushed me as like a showrunner, and I'm about to start producing my own show at the Improv monthly, which I need people to start going to. Please go to denver.improv.com, buy tickets for the local showcase. It's called Tonight at the Improv. It has the funniest comics in Denver on it every month. Huge hitters, people that I can guarantee you are going to be famous. Please spend the $25 and get a ticket. If you don't have $25, hit me up for a promo code and I get you like $13 tickets. But it's going to be every month. And I'm taking a stab at being a producer. And I'm doing it at like a serious venue. So I really want this to pay out. Like, this could either make... It definitely would have never break me.
No, dude, it's good to
I'll
try
struggle,
things.
yeah,
Like,
but
why
like,
not? You know,
I'm taking another leap of faith into comedy right now and taking a stab at production.
Yeah,
And I
it's all
hope
good.
that pays off.
it's all about moving and doing things. You know,
Yes.
because here's the thing: even if it doesn't work out, you still learn and get to apply to whatever's next, and that's like
Yeah.
invaluable in and of itself. And yeah, I think, dude, like you're very social. You're good at promotion. You know how to run a show. Like I can see this like, really working out for you. So like I you know, it's all about trying stuff. So fuck it.
As we wrap up, you have any tips for promotion? I was gonna bark in person with flyers, and I also put $250 into online advertisement.
Yeah, let's see.
What's the best way to get people to buy tickets? I've sold one ticket so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's only been up for sale for like 3 days, but
If you could get like a midget,
all right. So you're saying do a stunt, publicity stunt,
yeah. If you can get a midget,
little
and,
person.
like, like something like you have like a net, like you're trying to capture him, and like you're running through like office buildings and you're just throwing out flyers as you're trying to catch him, something like that.
And I catch him to have a captive audience member in my show? Or why am I catching the little person?
I mean, he got away.
Because he got away from my basement?
I don't know.
That's gonna be the hardest learning curve for me.
Yeah,
I'm not a
we'll
social
brainstorm
media
it.
guy.
We'll-
You're
we'll-
the social media guy.
Yeah, we'll brainstorm it.
Do I start like a TikTok for the show or something?
Yeah, I would do that. That's a good idea.
And then try to do clips and reels and
Yeah. So like, definitely capture like best moments of the show if that's like cool with all the comics.
Sure.
But we can get creative in promoting it. I'm really down to help you with that, actually.
It's brilliant, bro. The logo design looks amazing. It's Tonight at the Improv.
What nights are they?
It's gonna be. That's the thing, is I'm not sure if it's the third Thursday of every month, or if it changes per our schedule.
Or the 5th?
But it's towards the third or fourth Thursday of every month.
Okay, cool.
Wednesday or Thursday, or yeah. And dude, I have hilarious names on there. Like, these people are gonna be great.
Like Douglas Bubble Trousers.
Yes,
That's a really funny name.
that is a good name.
Yeah.
Poppycock Mollycoddle will be making an entrance. So yeah, I want to push that. So
Yeah,
maybe
cool.
we'll start that up and,
Yeah.
and shoot some stuff.
Sounds good. Well, in general, I want to start making videos with you because I think
Okay, you gotta ease me into it. I gotta start. If I'm gonna be a comedic social face, I'm gonna have to put that bullshit out there. I really think social media is a poison, but I think this will help me to get the best out of it rather than let it be a poison.
Well, I mean, if you're on it, you might as well be creating content, right?
Right.
So
right
it's
now, I'm
like-
just consuming and using my bandwidth
Yeah.
for other people's
That's
little videos.
that's why it does feel like a poison because
Yeah.
it's like all you're doing is consuming it. If you're
I need-
creating, then it's like okay,
we got to make the poison
we got to make the poison.
and poison everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm
I just
for
saw
that.
I saw a great meme of like the cartoon of Lex Luthor injecting himself with like kryptonite.
Yeah.
And someone commented, "Why doesn't Lex Luthor inject the kryptonite into his cock and rape Superman?"
Whoa.
That was like, whoa.
That is
But valid point.
I think on that we can end it.
Okay.
All right. Fuck Superman.
Yeah. He's too powerful, dude.